Hi everyone, so today I'll be trying out Spellbinders' new BetterPress of the month for September of 2023. It's called Corner Sunflowers. I already did a whole unboxing of the perfect package, showed this and the wax seal. They are separate clubs. But I'll have it all linked in the description box. So these items were sent free of charge from my review, and of course all opinions are my own, and any links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. So thank you for using those if you would like to. So yeah, I always update the links. So down there you'll see the BetterPress for the US and the UK, the United Kingdom links are down there. And like I said, we talked about this before. Really nice big plate on this one. It has the beautiful corner sunflower design, as it says there. I love this fern. It's so delicate. I'm looking forward to seeing how that works when we get it all inked up. And then it also has the sentiment, thankful for everything you do, with a die for it, which I really love. So you can just have a little more dimension if you want to make it all flat and have just the words and the design, or a little more dimension, right? So you cut it out and pop it up. And that's what they're showing you there. So for today, I think what I'm going to do, I was just going to make different colors of like note card as far as the ink color, because we have some new inks to play with. I did a video recently of that, but I'll bring them out for today. But then I started thinking, what if we did like tone on tone background? So like if I'm using like a peachy pink color of ink, maybe a lighter peachy pink color of paper, and we'll get this, we'll get this design on there, and then maybe do our sentiment, separately or however. So we're going to play with some color today. So let me grab some papers, my inks and all that, and we will get started. Oh, and the BetterPress, of course. Okay, so what it is, I brought out some colors. I brought out I think it's called Desert Sunset set of inks. Just gorgeous, and I don't know if I'm going to go with all of them today, but I did bring out some colors. Like this is called Tuscan. This is also called Tuscan. I don't know that it will show up, so what I was going to do is pull out a piece of this gorgeous Tuscan paper. I believe Spellbinders does have names of all these colors like in their paper, but I did find like peach sorbet, which I thought maybe I can try apricot on. Let's see what this might look like. Oh, I can see it's a little bit, yeah, it's definitely got into color. I just wanted to put some on the little edge there. So what I'm going to do is probably cut these guys down. So I'll cut down Tuscan just to card topper size. Peach sorbet, we'll try it with apricot. I don't know if that's going to work for me, but we will try. I actually brought out this one just in case, but I don't know why I brought that one out. That one's called Sun-Kissed. Tuscan probably will look great on that too. This is Dune, and I was thinking about pairing Dune with clay. So all these guys, I'm going to cut them down to like 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Maybe I'll use a die and cut it down. So maybe just to start off, let's do 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, right? Like a regular card topper for an A2 size card. And then, like I said, I have peach sorbet. I don't know that I'll do coastal. So maybe we'll stick with these 3 today, and I'll walk you through doing one, and I'll just press the other ones because it's going to be the same thing, and then we'll do our sentiment and all that kind of stuff. So let me cut these down, and I'll be right back. So I have my papers cut down. I was going to start with the lighter color, maybe Tuscan? I don't know. Okay. So my places on here, I generally place them here, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been having trouble sometimes keeping it straight. So anyway, I usually die cut afterwards, so that always helps me straighten out like what's going on. But when I put this on here, sometimes I'll take it off and I'm like, it's a little off. It's a little off. When it's a corner thing like this, I don't mind because it can be anything, right? It's organic, it doesn't matter. But when you put your sentiment on, right, that's when you're like, So really pay attention to the grid lines. When you're putting your ink on, hopefully it's not moving around too much. You can adjust it again, and that would help. And then also, of course, when you put your paper down, you really want it to be super straight. And, when I put it on here, I pay attention to that, but then sometimes I get a little off, but that's okay. So right now, I'm just going to put it here. The best thing I would say is if you have the precision dies, use those, or if you're going to die cut them with a nice shape, obviously you have that too. I want to see something when it goes down. Okay. You see how this goes all the way to the corner? I want to make sure that I don't have a piece of tape like in the way. And so I'm going to put the least amount of tape. So that one doesn't matter, and this one also doesn't touch, so that's good. I'm just going to use those 2 pieces of tape. Okay. And then here I'll just kind of eyeball this guy, that he's coming out of the corner here. I guess I could arrange it a little bit differently. It's really on there, you see. That's what's nice about this magnet. It's really strong, but I want to move this. I always keep all 3 shims under here under the BetterPress. That's how I do it. This is not BetterPress paper. It's just really nice cardstock from Spellbinders. But again, if you curve this just so, you'll have it just in the way so it's touching all the corners. Maybe I'm going to trim down my paper, maybe I'm not. I haven't really decided that yet, but a lot of times I do like running it back through a die like I had just mentioned. Okay, so that's straighter, and it's right at the tip right here. good to go. I'm going to use Tuscan. This is the first time we've used this plate, so there's no prepping or anything like that. I'm just going to take this guy and dab, dab, dab. And as you dab, you're kind of going like this. And you can see my other hand, I'm holding it, even though it was very hard to get this off, so I'm sure it's fine as far as that's not going to move much. The bigger the plate, the harder it is to move because it's touching a lot of the magnet, right? So if you have a smaller plate, it might move on you, but just kind of hold it down as you're applying. And don't do too much wiggling. Like my wiggle is pretty good. But I'm just making sure I have contact. This is a pad that's like a fabric. So sometimes on the very edge you might get a little fraying, those little bits. Kind of get them out of there. As long as they're not, you know, on your plate, that's fine. And that is very juicy, so I think we are good to go. Again, what I love about this thing is it does not touch the paper until you ask it to, basically. So when you sit it on here, it's like a 1/4 inch off the paper. It's not touching at all. And then you just run it through your machine. There should be a list under the BetterPress of the machines that can go through. It basically can go through most machines that accept steel rule dies. Now, having said that, I know there's lots of machines out there. I don't know all of them, but for sure the Big Shot, and then obviously the Platinum 6 types. And I was going a little bit faster than I would like, so I'm just going to slow it down. Maybe I'm going to run it back through, and I don't know if that's the best idea, but okay. And here we go. Oh yeah, look at that. And as you can see, even though over here I thought this was lined up the way it was, the other thing is, if you look at this BetterPress, it has the wording down here, so I would put that down there. Maybe if you do it this way, it might give you a little different. I'm pretty sure it's centered though, but as you can see, it's just a little bit shifted, you know? And as I look at it, I'm like, I don't see why. So like this still looks to me like it's right in the A2 area, but really pretty. I mean, look at that. Look at those ferns. That's what I was curious about. Okay. And then recently I had mentioned, since the very first videos, that to clean off your plates, obviously Ranger has a product that helps you do that with this extra kind of thick archival ink. I've been using alcohol. I hadn't really shown that in the other videos. I just talked about it, but basically I just take like a cloth, and this happens to be like a microfiber kind of cloth, I think from like the Dollar Tree. Okay. I live right in a cul-de-sac with a fire department, which is pretty cool, and they bring the fire trucks out and clean them, all that kind of stuff, but there's an EMT there, and so it gets a little bit loud. Lots of activity there sometimes. Okay, so I'm just cleaning it off with alcohol. This is still very yellow, so I'm gonna try again. So what happens sometimes if you leave some ink, it might reconstitute with the next color, and that's kind of why I start with the lightest color, in my opinion. What would be the lightest color? Just so that I can quickly kind of get this going. Clean that off. I had mentioned the other day that the alcohol will also clean up some old ink that's like on your magnetic mat here, and it does. That green's kind of gone now. All right. That looks pretty good. I'm just going to give it a wipe with this other side. And that didn't really move much either, so I'm just going to continue on with the apricot and then with the clay, and I'll be right back. Beautiful these are. Love it. That tone on tone. Again, this, you know, we could have found a clay that's a little more the clay color, right? But I went with that dune. Looks gorgeous. Look at that one. So pretty. And then look at that. Just gorgeous. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and finish letter pressing. So for each one of them, since they're very kind of fall colors, what I'm going to do is just run this through with cream colored paper with the same color inks. So if I put this here, I'm just going to grab like a scrap of paper that's a cream color. I don't know. See if I can find one right quick. It was a little creamier than I thought, but you know, this is good. Okay, so I'm going to run this through a few different times with the colors that we use. So, you know, maybe, again, I'll start off with Tuscan. And then I'm going to die cut it. So I'm just going to use, like I said, a scrap of paper, just making sure we have ink all over that. Looks really nice. And then on this thing, I wasn't really paying attention to where that is. It's kind of towards the top. And I'll just do this for each color. Just there and there. Put this guy on here. I'm gonna run it backwards just really quickly to show you. Obviously you want to give yourself enough room with your paper that you're able to die cut. I mean, look how quick. Okay, so I'll do that same thing with like the clay and the apricot, and I'll be right back. This one was clay. Look at that. So pretty. And again, you know, I still get questions as far as the BetterPress and what it does, so it just has really intricate designs, but what the whole point is that it is pressed in there. So you can hear my fingernail is hitting the impression, right? And it just looks really elegant and lovely. So let me clean this up and then we'll do some die cutting and put our cards together, and that's it. Where am I putting these things? Okay. Let's grab this. This is the die here for our sentiment, and of course with this one I'm just going to look right through it. You can do the aperture trick I've been showing you guys for years and years and years, but it's pretty easy to see through and see exactly where you're cutting, so I'm not going to take the time to make a little window for myself, but line it up, and whenever you think it's good, like right there, looks pretty good. Of course I'm doing this up in the air for whatever reason, but put your little tape there. I try to put tape so it's not touching my ink, so it doesn't shift, and then run it through, of course. So I'll do that with all three. And then I brought out my precision dies. I was thinking about doing shapes, but I thought, you know what, we'll just keep it simple. So I have both A and B precision sets for the A2 size cards, and I always forget which one's A or B. You think I would put A here and then B here, but you know me, just having some fun here. So I'm going to see how big this one might be. That might be the one I want. And this is just going to make your A2 matte. So this one is 4 inches, and I don't want that. I want one that's a little bigger than this one. So let's go over here. I want the 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, which might be this guy. Come on. So on one of them, it cuts you the whole 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then the other one, this is the other one. So one of the sets starts off with 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then gets smaller from there, you know, 1/4 inch, I suppose, at a time, or whatever it might be. This side starts off with the 4 1/8 and 5 3/8, the biggest matte layer, and then it goes in. So if you have both of them, you have literally like every increment, you know, from that size down. But this is what I want. And again, just looking at what I have here, I can just place this where I would want. It's going to be right close to the edges, because again, this is just a little bit smaller than your 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So if I wanted it like there, I can tape that down and run it through. Okay, so I'll do that for all 3, and I'll be right back. This way is the smallest amount that gets cut off. If you want more room, of course, you don't have to start off with a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 like I did. You can make your paper bigger, run it through, and then this guy, even if you're a little bit crooked, you can see through exactly where you're cutting, so you can just kind of look at that and be like, oh, okay, I want it to be a little more this way or whatever, right, when you use your die. So I'll continue cutting. Hey guys, so that cut down, again, just eyeballing, that's pretty good. And with these guys, we're just going to glue them down and go from there. I did make myself some card bases I was running out of, so if you have A2 size sheets, just cut it in half at 5 1/2 and score at 4 1/4, and you have an A2 size card, card or card base. So I'm just gonna glue these guys down, and then I'll put some dimensionals on the back of the other guys, and we'll just pop them on, and that is it. So simple note card. Again, you can even glue your sentiment down flat if you just want something like that. I'm going to get a little dimension with that, maybe add some pearls, you can add some rhinestones, something flashy on there if you would like. With the BetterPress ones, I always just feel like the BetterPress is the artwork, and I kind of leave it at that. So what I would do is put dimensionals on this, and then we'll just pop that down. Very monochromatic and fun. So let me glue down the other ones, get the dimensionals going, and I'll be right back. Just taking the backing off this last one here, and I'll just show you what I did. I just put it there. Added this wherever I thought it looked nice. And let's put that on nice and straight. And there we go. So I just put, dimensionals where it counts, right behind here and behind these little kind of thinner areas. And so there we have 3 quick note cards. I mean, ready to go. Send out, your friend's favorite color or whoever, or just a beautiful note card that you just like the colors yourself. And it's really pretty. I really, really love the way these came out. Thanks for watching, guys. Thank you so much, Spellbinders, for sending these items for review. I'll have images coming up. I'll have the links in the description box. And again, this is the September BetterPress of the month. Again, it is available separately. It will not be in like the perfect package if you're a subscriber to that. Yeah, and just have a great day, guys. Bye now.